It builds every third party that shows JFK said.
Hello viewers, how are you all doing today? My name is Ukela Prince and I'm glad to welcome you to Talk Your Own. Today I have a very special guest, someone that is a community leader, someone who is making great impact in the society and in the nation of Canada and beyond. I have no less a person, someone who is also the founder and the CEO of the DC Elite Indian and Multicultural Community. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Mr. Gaurav Srivastavia.
Hi, Ukela Prince. How are you doing?
I tried to pronounce the last name because
Yeah, that's a big one. But yeah, you can call me Gaurav Srivastavia.
Gaurav, how are
You can
you?
say Gaurav. I'm doing
you look
pretty
handsome
good.
every time I see you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Look at your hair, man. Oh my goodness. Look at your badges here.
And God, it's all about our culture. It's all about our food and all meditation
Oh
and
my
yoga.
goodness.
What you do, it comes all. It's a complete package,
Good
right?
food, man.
Of course, you know Indian food, yeah.
I can see that badge. What was that badge? What does that badge represent?
Oh, this batch is so special and it's so amazing. This is Queen Elizabeth Award. It was recently given to me by Government of Canada because of my non-profit initiative for DC Elite Indian and Multicultural Community. So this is quite important and quite respectful, and I value it a lot.
Wow, that's
Thank you so much for
That's
asking.
interesting. I saw you so decorated. I said, this looks good.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't know whether it's
You're gonna soon have one out there also. No worries.
He has promised, man.
Of course.
By the way, he brought me a beautiful gift today. Thank you so much for that.
No
gift.
worries. Pleasure
Okay,
is mine.
now let me say congratulations on on finding the DC Elite and multicultural Indian and multicultural community in Canada.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what inspired you to start this non-profit initiative, and how do you envision its growth?
Prince, this is such an amazing question. I've been answering this numerous number of times in different channels at different platforms. When we leave our home countries, it may be India or it may be Nigeria or it may be Venezuela or Colombia or any other country. We leave our culture there. Our childhood friends are left there. Our emotions, our festivals, our food, our sports, everything is left there. And once you come to this part of the world, then suddenly you feel that you are very lonely. There is not so many people to socialize. So it came to me as an idea in February 2023, just 2 years ago, that there should be some particular platform where people from different walks of life, different communities, they can gather together and they can exchange their ideas, values over taste and preferences.
Wow.
If I'm able to create a platform in which I can have 1,000 odd Indians, say hundreds of Nigerians, some folks from Venezuela, where they can sit together, they can talk about their city, they can talk about their festivals. Festivals are most important during December and January. This is the time when you're all in, you are, passionate, you go to the next year, with your goals and ambitions. So that was the whole purpose of bringing people together.
Interesting.
So to kill loneliness, DC Elite Indian and Multicultural Community was formed.
Wow. That's interesting. That's a great vision. So how do you envision its growth?
Growth is so amazing. I must tell you, 35 meetups till now. We started with 4 people. Today we are 1,600 people. So it has grown by leaps and bounds over a number of years. But I must tell you that I maintain a focus on the quality folks. People who are go-getters, people who are team builders, people who come here with a positive horizon. And mostly I like to have association with people who are givers rather than the takers. So my focus is more upon the people who can give it back to the community. So that kind of a people, because such kind of a vibrant people you can find across. You can find from India, you can find from Pakistan, Nigeria, Venezuela. So that is the main focus of bringing them together. And very soon we'll be crossing 2,000 numbers. And I have another group also in which the reach is around 40,000 people. So the numbers are huge. Number is never a problem for DC Elite Indian community.
Interesting. Now, you have about over 2 decades of experience.
Of course.
And what leadership lessons have you in the area of leadership? So, what leadership lessons would I say you have learned throughout your career? And how can you apply them in your current roles? Because you are in quite a lot of, managing quite a lot of roles presently. So did you find yourself being able to apply your leadership skills in all of these?
That's an amazing question. Thanks for asking this. And for the audience also, I must like to tell you that this question is very special for me. It's very close to my heart. Being a management graduate, I bring 3 management degrees with me, 1 bachelor's, 2 masters, 1 from India and 1 from Canada. My Canadian master's main focus was on leadership. So once you talk about leadership on the situational leadership models, or on the autocratic business style of managing people, or you are into a democratic style of managing people, or the new concept of servants of people, that's the new concept going on. So leadership is never ending thing, but once you learn these things during your school time, you like to, nurture with the values that you can first of all absorb yourself. As a leader, you should be people servant. You should be a guy who should be good into empathy. You can be able to step into the shoes of a customer or your friends or anybody and analyze the situation, what they're going through. So these are small business traits you need to learn. And once you learn and you become a complete personality in itself, because leadership is not that you're reading some books and subjects or theories from Harvard or Stanford and you throw it in the market. It's not like that. Leadership is application. It's self-discipline. It's never going thing. It's the way of taking criticism in a positive way. It's like being sustainable, being impactful and giving it back to the society, creating future leaders with ripple effects. So leadership is huge. As you rightly said, when you learn these things in the corporate world in a professional way, then these things somehow subconsciously get into your head. And once you run informal organizations, non-profit organizations like DC Elite Indian and Multicultural Community, or I must say the other group, Brempton Rentals, then you'll try to use the same skill set, the same values to manage people. Because at the end of a day, today we don't talk about product, price, place, promotion. The new 4 P's of marketing is people, 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 and people. So if you're able to understand people, manage them, and try to give it back to the society, then you can have a good complete balance about your professional
That's a whole lot
and
of
the
work.
personal thing.
That's a whole lot of work.
That's a big thing. And leadership doesn't come so easily. You have to really pay some good amount of fee for it. Like you have to be really attentive. You have to read some papers. You always need to have mentors for yourself, so that you can definitely see what has been the struggle of the journeys of those mentors. And now these mentors can be from the professional world, sports world. They can be politicians, they can be beauty queens, or they can be like the media people. So you take these things from so many places in order to become a complete leader.
Human beings happen to be one of the difficult creatures to actually, lead and manage, right? Oh, now, I going through some of the things you've done, I also realized that your community has organized over 35 $0 meetups.
Of course.
Can you share the story behind these events and their impacts on the community's mental health and their well-being?
Thanks for asking this. Now the thing is, 35 community meetups, $0 events. Now how it happens? To make it a $0 event, you need volunteers who can, bring some resources. So I normally go through potluck module, in which any one person will open his house, that okay, at least 40, 60 or 80 people can come together. We can assemble there. And then we do potlucks. Like people can bring their own food. Like somebody's bringing a chicken curry from India, somebody's bringing a dal, somebody's bringing, say, a tandoori chicken, or somebody's bringing dim sums, somebody's bringing ice creams, They cook at their home and they bring it. We don't keep a ticketed event there. Here you have to pay $65 to $95, the current rate that's going on in the market. We don't do that. We just say, kindly bring food for 15 people and we'll share it together. Something like a potluck. And that's what we do. And then at the common platform, then we have a big TV screen where our cultural programs are going on. And we are also talking about some social issues. If somebody is going through some mental thing or some health issues, or he's feeling lonely back home, we definitely discuss that. And once we are all together at this kind of a big platform, we definitely, become a better human being, stress-free, and we are ready to, get into the war with the world regarding what we want to achieve in our life. So this is all about.
I don't envy you actually because
this is for society. There is no room for envy, neither here, neither in DC Elite.
You are doing so much. You are also the admin of the Brampton Renters Facebook group with over 37,000 people.
I must correct you. Now we are close to 40,000 there.
So that's over 37. That's close to 40. So how do you manage the group's dynamics, and what strategies do you use to
That's an amazing thing
because
DC Elite is a non-profit thing. Although this is also a non-profit one, this is for basically the students or the new people who are coming to Canada. They wanted to have a platform where they can find a 2-room set for themselves on rent, or somebody who needs to buy. But this platform is basically for renting, in which new communities come together. They post up their lead out there in the group, and then I approve that this guy is looking for a 2-bedroom condo in Brampton, Mississauga, Oakville, or Toronto. Then I approve it. And then accordingly, all those house owners or the homeowners, they'll try to reach out to them. Hey, you've been recommended. If your ad is live at Brampton Rentals, it means you're a right guy. You have already cleared your litmus test. You're green, right? Like this room. So definitely once you're green, the good people will reach out to you, and your housing needs, that comes at a base level of Maslow's hierarchy, it's taken care of, because food, shelter, cloth are the most important 3 things, Prince, when you come to foreign country. And that is the reason for the mental thing we have DC Elite, and for your food, shelter and other stuff you have Brampton Rentals. So these both groups support each other.
Mr. Gaurav is hitting it here and there, making sure that community is going well. So, Mr. Gaurav, we'll go on a little break, so we'll be right back.
For sure, no worries.
We'll see you soon.
They say every heroine don't wait to be served. She writes her own story. Every woman has a story of strength, courage, love, and ambition. They rise above challenges, break through careers, and inspire us all. Join the heroines Blessing Ajayi, Adechishola Otiba, Emma Answer, Kim Ambrose, and Mokesh Burke as they take you on a journey through the fascinating world of women, with stories that touch your heart, challenge your mind, and uplift your spirit.
Accomplishing, if I'm in any sort of pain about anything, they're there for me. And to me, that is the embodiment of sisterhood.
And which is what we bring to the table. If we were all the same, then it would not have the power that it needs to have. But if you're unique and you're bringing different skill sets, that is how we build each other up. That is how we help each other, empower each other.
So sisterhood is really celebrating each other's successes. Successes.
Talk to them about their problems, their challenges, and that's how I started building my network.
And like we all said, every woman has a heroine within her. Until you discover
The Heroine Show. Showing on the Black Community Canada TV on YouTube and other BCCTV platforms. Join the conversation on socials and lend your voice, because every woman is a heroine.
Welcome back, viewers. This is still Talk Your Own Show, and I have Mr. Gaurav in the studio.
Thank you, Ukela Prince. Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, you've been so spot on the most of the things you've said, in the first segment of this show, and I think a lot of people are getting quite a lot of information from what you are doing, and I think it's great for the community.
Of course.
Now I'm looking at this. This year, Late Indian and Multicultural Community has received numerous certificates and recognitions from Canadian officials. So how do these acknowledgements, how do they motivate your team? And what's the next for this organization?
Prince, this is an amazing question because unless you're not rewarded, you don't feel motivated. So reward has to be there. So all those volunteers who are attached with me and who do potluck, or we organize different festivals like Diwali, Christmas, Valentine's Day, Holi, right? At such a low cost events. So those volunteers needs to be, rewarded. And as a reward, all those local political parties or different, say, member of parliaments out here, member of provincial parliaments, councillors, mayors, I must also say, including Prime Minister of Canada. They all see all these things and then they honor us with different certifications. So one of the things I already showed you, this amazing and honorable Queen Elizabeth Award. Other than this, we have been awarded, Prince, 221 times, 221 certificates from different, people, like from Government of Canada, in terms of certificates to different volunteers. And it's a big number to be achieved in a year.
Interesting. You now that you mentioned the Prime Minister, is part of one of the things I actually want to throw at you as one of the buzzers. And you know what is happening, right now. So how do you feel about it?
It's been 9 years and this government has been doing certain amazing things. It's a 50-50 approach as you see it. I'm an optimistic guy. I will definitely try to first say what are the things that good has happened and where the areas of improvement are there. So it's a both way, right? So the child benefit that they've given, it's an amazing thing. Dental thing is so amazing. But the best thing that this government did earlier was providing CERB during the COVID times when each and everybody who was as per the norms, they were given some money. So people were able to, get out of the pandemic and they were not affected that much. So CERB facility, what Liberals did, was one of the best things that happened. There has been, on the other side, there has been certain misses also that I always say, because I'm a guy who believes in business and economy. So I always say that there should have been a little bit more focus on the industry, especially small and medium-sized industry, because, Canada is a big country. It's even bigger than India and Nigeria, right? So if you have so much of natural resources, like you've got lumber, you've got minerals, then you've got crude oil, then you have fresh water, the maximum freshwater lakes in the world you got in Canada, right? So you got water, and you know what's happening in California because of water? The wildfires. Canada has it, and we are just sitting a little bit at an angle on them. So water is one thing. So much more can be done for, putting up an industry so that people can get jobs, because these days I am seeing so many talented people, either they are going back to their home countries or they are really struggling. So I feel much more focus could have been there on the industry.
Permit me, this is not actually a line of discussion, but because you're a community person, so that's why I'm bringing this actually to you. Before I go into the few questions more I have for you, looking at the resignation of the Prime Minister, is it needful? Now, also, the plan tax invasion, or permit me to use that word, that the president of the United States, incoming president, actually talked about. What's your take on that? What do you think about that? Was it all these shenanigans? Were they part of? Do you think they are part of the reasons why also the Prime Minister decided to step down?
No, I don't think that is the reason of Honorable Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's reason of stepping down. I met him a couple of months ago, and even in his own interview, I think the last one, he said, "I'm a fighter." And how much he has done, he's a daring guy. He's such a respectful person, because he has done a lot for Ukraine also, right? Despite pressures coming from different part of the world. He has helped so many people who have come here as refugees and immigrants from Middle East and other parts of the world. So you can't be a prime minister for 9 years if you're not a daring or a brave person. He's a kind-hearted person, very humble and very reasonably good person. But as I said, yes, there has been certain aspects in which much more proactive approach was required, where they completely missed, as I was talking about the industry. Now, coming back to the US tariffs that Honorable elect President Donald Trump is saying, that they're going to put 25% tariffs on certain goods of Canada. Now, if Canada was a self-reliant country in itself. I mean to say, if they had their car manufacturing hub, cars means their own branded cars. If the clothes that they are getting from India and Bangladesh, that's good. But if they were having their own manufacturing facilities out here, the things were good. Most of the electronics that come to Canada, it comes from China or some other parts of the world. So till the time a country is not self-reliant, these tariffs will definitely not let you sleep, because 25% tariff means your goods will become so expensive once they reach US that nobody is gonna ask for your goods, and then they'll be expensive as compared to the other parts of the world. Because then you have Philippines coming up, you have Bangladesh coming up, you would be lost in the trade war. So till the time you're not self-reliant, because US is one of the biggest trade partners of Canada. 60 to 80% of the goods or the trade happens to that. You see Alberta, our honorable premium Danielle Smith was there, and she was also, trying to have little thing that how this can all be resolved. So these things matter a lot, because if you are one of the most famous countries, you are the Western world, you're the top 10 out there, then your building blocks, your foundations has to be strong, and that is industry.
So do you think it was right, or it was the right thing to do for the Prime Minister to resign?
It's personally his thing, but as per my understanding, he's got some very good, people under him, cabinet ministers, who have such a great knowledge and experience to run it better. But who knows, the second government may come. They were waiting for a long period of a time, and they can change something for good. So I wish all the best to the upcoming government, whosoever is coming, so they can take Canada to next level.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you so much. I like your answers.
Thank you.
So now, how do you balance your corporate career with your non-profit work, and what skills do you find are transferable between the two?
That's so amazing. Thanks for asking this. As you rightly said, having once you are a management background person and you follow the leadership day in, day out, and I'm one of the sales professionals, one of the best sales professionals for one of the best and well-known company in the world, recruiting companies in the world, based out of US, and I'm a go-getter. I try to finish my day by 2 or 3 p.m. I start little early. For me, I like to share with my audience out here, 9 to 11 a.m. prints are the platinum hours. We do our 60 to 80% of the work within 9 to 11, because in the sales and marketing world, 9 to 11 is the time, a.m. in the morning, should be without distraction. So once you're on your laptop, once you're making your calls, once you're doing your client dealings, you should be really in your high zone where you're making sales. And once you finish your day at around 3 or 4, have a good nap for 1 hour kind of a thing, have a brunch, have a coffee, and then the other focus becomes DC Elite. Because DC Elite is something like passion, and the traits that I have learned in the corporate world, the leadership, empathy, listening, spreading ripple effects through being sustainable and impactful. I try to bring all that knowledge and I put it in DC Elite, and then you see that this plant is now growing like a tree, and now we are into multiple communities, and all those other communities, once they understand this particular skill and knowledge that you have, then they also bring you over the shows or over the discussions, and then we do multicultural meetup. And one of such multicultural meetup we are doing now on 18th January in Brampton.
Interesting. So I would, on a closing note, I would love you to look into that camera. You'll be able to tell us, looking ahead, so what are your goals for DC Elite in 2025? How can the community support your efforts?
That's a great thing, because no association, no organization can, sustain if you don't have goals. So thanks for asking this. I have a long-term goal and short-term goals. In the long-term goals, we like to, contribute to the GDP of Canadian economy, that is gross domestic product, all the product and services that are produced here, by keeping people motivated in a shorter period of a time, by doing potlucks, by enjoying, musical festivals. Then you have an African festival coming up, Carabram comes up, and then you have Brazilian festivals comes up. Venezuelans are coming up with the beauty pageants. Indians, they have their, Diwali, Holi stuff. And Punjabi community comes with Baisakhi, and the Muslim or the other community comes with their Eid. Once you gather at this level, you exchange your ideas and synergies, your bond becomes much more stronger. And once they say, hey, I have this particular idea from Nigeria, we can do this, we can sell these products or services, not only in Canada, but also in India. And we can do tripatriate trade. The trade is not about India or Canada or Nigeria or Canada, US. Our world is the market. If all the different people are together in a community, then the world is also a market, right?
Exactly.
So we should have like-minded business partners as friends, as countries, and then trade. And what other country other than Canada and in GTA, where all those people are already here? For me, I read it somewhere 20 years ago in Philip Kotler. This is called a marketing water hole, where people from different walks of life come together. They exchange their ideas, ambitions, their failures and successes, and they build up from there. So that kind of a thing I'm looking forward to give it back to the Canada for small-term goals and long-term goals. So
Thank you.
it's a very, very well-directed kind of a vision. But the only thing that I'm looking at are quality folks who are team players and who can stand during good and bad times.
Interesting. Now, our time is up, but let me allow you go with this question
Yeah.
by giving us this answer. Should we expect Gaurav running for a political office very soon?
Oh my goodness. Now, this is one of the important questions. Many people are asking me this.
Oh, really?
Some people were saying, why don't you, some political parties were saying, why don't you run as an MP? Some people will say, why not for an industry minister if you have that kind of a passion, especially for spreading industries across Canada, because it's a huge landmark. And some people will say, okay, would you like to control from the top? So it's a big thing. I'm a humble and a middle class person, but yeah, I have high ambitions and big value. But if God gives a chance, who knows, maybe an MP or a minister or the biggest thing in Canada, maybe the Prime Minister, but I don't know. But I'll be humble, I'll be grounded. I'm looking forward to the things. I'm learning from all the political parties. Their good things, their mistakes, and their corrective actions. So for me, we are not from part of any political party, but we are people's leader. I like many people from different political parties and they are my friends. So we are trying to, empower them, learn from them. And if such opportunity comes in the future to represent Canada, why not?
If God gives a chance, if such opportunity comes in the future, why not?
Thank you so much. Nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
It's
much.
nice having you today in the studio.
Pleasure is mine.
All right, so let's look forward to, you never know, the next one of the prime ministers in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gaurav. It's nice having you in the studio. All right, guys, thank you. That's our show for today. Cheers.
Your phone. It builds every third party that shows. JF Kennedy said.